Hello and welcome. I'm Kriti Mehta and you're watching the Eurozone on NewsX World. Let's take a look at the top headlines this hour. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky to leave for Italy for meetings with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni after visiting London and Brussels on Monday for talks on how to end the war with Russia. Russia's top general Valery Gerasimov says Moscow's forces were advancing along the entire front line in Ukraine and were targeting surrounded Ukrainian troops in the town of Mirnoharad. Lithuania declares a state of emergency over smuggler balloons originating in Belarus that have disrupted aviation and asked Parliament to allow the military to operate alongside police and border guards. The European Commission has launched an antitrust probe to assess whether Alphabet's Google was breaching European Union competition rules in its use of online content from web publishers and YouTube for artificial intelligence purposes. Czech President Peter Pavel appointed the billionaire leader of the populist ANO party, Andrej Babis, as Prime Minister, marking a key step in the formation of a government after ANO won an October parliamentary election. European Union climate monitors say 2025 is on track to the 2023 as the second hottest year ever recorded, following 2024's record heat. Global temperatures from January to November were 1.48 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. 4 Pakistani soldiers killed, 6 injured after TTP fighters ambushed a Pakistan army vehicle in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Thailand says it is moving to expel Cambodian troops as fighting along their disrupted border intensifies, with Cambodia reporting 6 dead. Both sides blame each other as the violence undermines a Trump-brokered ceasefire that halted earlier in July. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived at the papal residence of Castel Gandolfo for a meeting with Pope Leo XIV in Italy. Earlier, Zelensky convened in London with UK's Keir Starmer, France's Emmanuel Macron and Germany's mayors to discuss the war with Russia. Following his London visit, Zelensky met with the leaders of NATO and European Commission in Brussels on the issue of Russian frozen assets. Only 7 out of the 27 European Union member states voted to move ahead with loans to Ukraine. The loans have been opposed by Belgium, where most of the Russian frozen assets are held. Zelensky has said that under the prioritized Ukraine requirements list or the PURL program, funded by NATO member countries to provide Ukraine with weapons, about $15 billion are needed each year. The European leaders also discussed the US peace plan to end the war. Zelensky has said that Ukraine and its European allies are expected to finalize their version of the peace proposal today before presenting it to the United States. Zelensky has also stated that Kyiv has no legal or moral right to cede land to Russia in any deal that is aimed at ending the war between the two countries. He has added that the United States is trying to find a compromise on the issue. And joining me on this bulletin is Alison Matler, former AP chief in Romania. She joins us live from Bucharest. Thank you, Alison, for joining us once again here at NewsX World. Now, Zelensky is going from nation to nation in the European Union to muster support. But do we see him benefiting in any way as far as the peace deal or the frozen Russian assets are concerned?
It's unclear how much success he will have, but had he stayed at home in Kiev, he certainly would have had any success. So he has no other option than to rally around European leaders on his side. They are his main allies at the moment. He does need Donald Trump, but with Donald Trump blowing hot and cold and currently being more favorable to the Kremlin's demands, Vladimir Zelensky has to do this shuttle diplomacy. I mean, he's had a whirlwind of, of visits to, as you said, to London, to Brussels in one day, and
Right.
now he's in Italy meeting Giorgia Meloni and the Pope. So it's very important. This is a lifeline for Ukraine as it battles to change the original peace plan and find something which it can agree to. So it's unclear what success you will have because on the other side you do have Russia at the moment backed by Donald Trump. But Zelensky needs to do everything he can to get the best possible outcome for his nation.
And with the opposition of Belgium and some of the others who've not voted in favor of using the frozen Russian assets, how is Zelensky going to gather all these funds required for rebuilding Ukraine?
It's a very difficult question, and there'll be people, his advisors, thinking of ways to raise these funds. We're talking about a lot of money. But that said, Europe itself is rich. I mean, the European Union is a very rich bloc. There must be ways of getting money, whether it's some kind of loan with favorable terms. But obviously, the Russian frozen assets is a very sticky issue for Belgium and also for the European Union. Because of the possible repercussions from Russia. And also, I think there's a certain fear of Russia, particularly from Belgium. Belgium is a small country. It's a rich country. It's a democracy, but it's a small country compared to Russia. And it doesn't really want the complications of Russia taking action against it. So I think Russia is bullying Belgium into not releasing those funds. And you can understand from Russia's point of view why they would do this. But Zelensky has scrambling to find other sources. He'll have to be quite inventive in his thinking, quite creative in his thinking. But he does have advisors, and there are European nations who will probably be giving him good advice, consultations on how to do this.
Right. Stay on with me, Alison. There's some breaking news now coming in. Viewers, a Russian military transport aircraft has tragically crashed in the Ivanovo region located northeast of Moscow. The An-22, also known as the Ante, went down earlier today with 7 crew members on board. According to the local media, there are no immediate reports on the condition of the crew. Authorities are investigating the cause of the crash. And we now move on, viewers. Russian air defenses have also shot down 121 Ukrainian drones over several regions, including the Caspian Sea, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Now, in a separate incident, a drone raid on the city of Cheboksary has left 9 people injured, including a child. Authorities say the victims are receiving medical care. Some residential buildings were damaged in the attack, and emergency services are working at full capacity to handle the situation. A fire caused by the drone strike has now been extinguished, and temporary road restrictions have been put in place. An emergency center has been set up to assist residents. And let's now have Alison back into the discussion here. Alison, once again, Russia downs the 121 Ukrainian drones. Where is this? Where is this stopping? Where is this leading to? Of course, both countries continue to target each other using drones on their power facilities and other energy stations. In the absence of a peace deal reaching its conclusion, the strikes are unabated. What's your assessment?
Yes, I mean, these strikes, obviously they're military and they're designed from both sides to weaken the other's position, but they are I think they're being ratcheted up precisely because there seems to be no resolution to the peace deals. And so each side is trying to show that they are militarily very strong and they will not back off. And the idea is to put pressure, for Russia to put pressure, because it's a bigger country, on Ukraine, saying, okay, you're not going to agree to a peace deal, well, then we will just bomb you, we will just target you, we will hit you with drones, with bombs, with missiles, and we will hit you indiscriminately. The idea is to pressure Ukraine into coming to the table. Ukraine is a smaller country, coming to the table and agreeing to Russia's terms. But by the same token, as we have seen in this almost 4 years of war, Ukraine is fiercely fighting back. It is targeting strategically. It is targeting, as you said, energy stations. It's targeting strategic oil depots. It's trying to weaken Russia's war facilities. So neither side is backing down, and it is because of the problems with the diplomacy, which is basically blocked at the moment. I mean, there's a furious, visits going on and talks going on, but at the moment we haven't got anywhere. That's a reality. So both sides are showing that on the military front they are fighting as fiercely as ever.
Right. All right, Alison. Thank you for joining us and giving us your comments there. And now we have some more information, viewers, coming from Russia, where Russia's top general Valery Gerasimov has said that Moscow's forces are advancing along the entire front line in Ukraine, focusing on encircling Ukrainian troops in Mirnohad. Now, he claims that Russia has taken over 30% of the town's buildings. He's also mentioned that Russia's capture of Pokrovsk is an important step towards taking the whole of Donbass region. Listen into what the Chief of General Staff of Russian Armed Forces has said.
Войска объединенной группировки продолжают наступление практически на всех направлениях. В ходе доклада Верховному главнокомандующему 1 декабря об освобождении Красноармейска Верховный главнокомандующий обратил внимание и поставил задачу по разгрому подразделений противника в районах восточнее Красноармейска и в Димитрове. На сегодняшний день соединения и воинские части 2-й армии освободили населенные пункты Ровное, Рог и Гнатовку, примыкающих к Красноармейску с восточной стороны.
However, Ukraine claims that the allegation is untrue, saying its forces still hold parts of Mirnohad and are resisting Russian attacks, forcing Moscow to pay a high price for relatively small gains. Russia currently controls near a fifth of Ukraine, including Crimea, most of Luhansk and Donetsk, and parts of Kherson, Zaporizhia, and other regions. Earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned Russia will take full control of the Donbass region unless Ukrainian forces withdraw. Kyiv has rejected the demand, vowing to defend its territory. We now move on to some news coming in from Lithuania, where government has declared a